Hi, everybody. This is Allison from AllyKat Creations. How are you? Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, I connect on Epiphany and Mind Explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, work to create. Please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description of this video. AllyKatCreations211.com is where you can see all the awesome work that I do. And if you're interested in anything for purchase, please email me because I do everything privately. Lastly, 3D memberships are a great way to help contribute to my channel. Keep it afloat, keep it alive, and you get, for the ones here that I have, a free entry into the monthly raffles that I have, and you get oracle readings once a week. Hi, Charlene. Hi, Arnie. Hi, Scott. Hi, Ashmaya. I needed that so bad. So, I just got home like maybe 20 minutes ago. Um, I am JQ Kitty Cat sitting and hanging out with Louie dog. They went down to a nice excursion in Miami, and I am taking care of the babies. So it going from work to there and back, I hit some traffic. So I just got in. I just fed myself like really quick. And here I am. Hi. Hi. Yeah, I mandalas. Uneven, but mandalas. Hi everybody. How's everybody doing? So I haven't really been able to check even my phone. Um, mind you, I today was wicked, wicked, wicked. Tomorrow I have not an interview, but I have a talk with my assistant principal. They have to review me. So it's not an interview. It's at the end of the year, I guess, evaluation. So it looks like I'm gonna have to find a new career and a new job. It looks like I'm going to have to figure this out ASAP. So if anybody out there is picking up in any good signs of a direction, because spirit is still like lingering here, lingering, making me linger. I'm hoping something transpires in Epiphany Land. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Epiphany Land ASAP. And for all of us who know Mr. C. Allen, let's give him some prayers. Anybody in California, please reach out to me. Our friend here needs some help. Um, yeah, if anybody is living out in California, let me know. I have a buddy, our buddy, C. Allen, Mr. Etch a Sketch. He, I won't divulge his business, but he sure can use some help right now and needs somebody in California. So let me know. Hi guys. Um, Hi Auntie. Is Auntie Amy? Did she come on? Did Amy pop on yet? There she is. Hi, Auntie Amy. I just got your messages because I just ran in like a crazy lady. Taking care of a lot of cute kitty cats. Um, just checking everything. I like ran down here. Oh, we spikety spiked. Not that bad, but we spikies. Biking. Yeah, we spiked. I definitely felt it at work. He's okay. I mean, like, he's all right. Let's just say he's in my situation. Let's just put it that way. And if we have anybody in California, I don't know where in what part he's in, that could possibly help, like me. I have to get a new career and a new job. So now I'm on the hunt again. And it's not because I have a job waiting for me next year, mind you, but it's the same job that I have now. And I can't sustain life on what I'm making here. So what am I going to do? I have to give it up. Yeah, he's such a good person, and I gave him a lot of advice with his recovery on what to do with his hip. So I used to be an aqua aerobics instructor, like the old lady commercials with the people in the pool. Like I taught that. It's actually really good exercise, but I gave him some stuff to do, and I'm trying. I pushed him. I'm like, you got to do that exercise sketch every day, and you have to get some prints made and whatever have you. So yeah, but he's in the same circumstances as I am in. Because if I don't find anything soon, I don't get the money to pay for my property tax. I mean, not it's not like I missed like 5 years of it, but eventually they'll be putting a lien on my house and I'll probably lose my house even though I paid for it. I'm still waiting. Politics. Yeah, he's doing okay. I mean, he's getting around, but his home situation isn't the best. Again, I hope I don't think I told him I'm live, but I like to put prayers out for everybody in that. I'm letting him know we're live. Um, so yeah. Trying to keep my positive vibrations high. That's a challenge nowadays. Huge challenge. And I want to, if Sparky does jump on, I want to thank her. She sent me some amazing animal pictures. Um, Holy crap, that made my day. I freaking can't. So now that I don't really have a curriculum to write, not that I'm giving up on that, because there may be a day in my life that I might be able to teach art and not have to worry about going back to school for a shit ton of money I don't have. And that's just to get a license. That's not to get a master's degree. And I don't want to go to a Catholic private nonsense because they make you do biblical stuff, and I would have to contest all of it. And I'm not against the Bible. I'm against the version of the Bible that they preach, and I'm not about it. Let's just put it out there. So I have these are canvas boards. Smack people. And this is where I put a lot of my excess paint. I don't like to waste anything. So I was thinking of putting something on these paintings. I don't know what. So I got to think about it. But what I can do in the meantime, because it is a craft in SIP, I can't just talk. I can paint, or at least put a base paint down. And I got another one of these little babies. Gotta love Indiana. It's a weird state shape. Although New York is exactly as wonky. This chair needs WD-40. Bad. Bad. So how's everybody's energy? Because mine's been tanking down. Tanking. Not because I want it to, and not the lack of transmuting energy. I've been sitting and trying to transmute like my circumstances, and if it ever is my time, I am trying to put myself on a better timeline where I don't have to sit in survival mode. I'm trying my best because I can go take an equity loan out tomorrow and I could say I'll be fine, when in reality, how am I paying that mother effer back with interest? I'm still not seeing politics actually do anything for the people. I see it being done for everybody but the people. And I spoke with Dina about my feelings on this the day before they left, because I went over there for a little bit. And I said to her, I know everybody is like, this is behind the scenes, this is all this is all that. And yet we're perpetually waiting year after year, and it keeps getting harder and harder to live. And the gas prices are jumping up each day. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. That's insane, Scott. I woke up at 3:37 this morning, and then I went back to sleep and then woke back up. And yesterday, the Blavatsky read took me forever to get it loaded into the computer. So I went to sleep kind of on my late side. Oh, see, Alan might be popping in. He's on a walk, and I'm glad he's walking. So we'll have a surprise from Mr. Etch-a-Sketch himself. Um, I'm not remembering my dreams. I'm not at the moment, I'm not. I'm just happy I'm not dreaming about transcension of self. Um, Although I've tried to, I'm doing the recapitulation exercises. So if I have like a junky day, not everything in your day is going to be amazing. For me, if stuff really sat the wrong way, like, okay, I'll give you an example. On the way home from Dina and Jason's to get to my house, I almost died. Someone blew a light, and if I didn't make the last minute decision to swerve my car and like kind of, I would have been killed. There was no doubt. Someone was probably drunk. I would have been dead. I don't know. I'm still persevering here, so I'm here. But that was a little creepy today. So later on, before I go to sleep, I'll sit in my mind and I will make it that never took place. I will recapitulate my day so that everything did go smoothly. Although the other day I was trying to recapitulate the fact that my principal told me I had an interview on Friday and it never took place, that kind of upset me. Don't say something and just let me go off to the side. That just shows you don't really want me. Um, and it's the end of the year, and end of the year it gets banana crazy with everything. So I understand on a administration level to my level where things fall, and I'm not priority, never was, never will be in terms of that 3D matrix model. So I've been trying to like feed myself, recapitulate my day before I go to sleep. So everything like went smooth, even though if it really in reality didn't, I'm jumping on the timeline that it did in hopes that it sets in motion a bigger time dilation for me to escape out on. Maybe. It's kind of devastating and sad for me. Um, I don't know about anybody have arthritis out there? Holy handbasket, my feet are so swollen. I have to go get some magnesium. I listened to somebody online that said to take the magnesium and D3 at night. Hi, Roger. Um, my feet are ridiculously swollen. And I'm gonna see if I could start wearing sandals. I don't like wearing sandals. I don't like my feet whatsoever. I have dancer's feet and they're fugly. I have to do a paint job on them too, because no. But and when my feet swell like this, like I had a lot of water today. I've been drinking a lot more water. The harder part is when you work in a school, you can't just go to the bathroom at will. So I have to watch what and how much I consume at what point during the day. I have spray magnesium too. That I do have. Um, but if I'm inflamed in my feet, I'm not only inflamed there. I'm sure something else is inflamed and I'm just not picking up on it. Um, Also, I'm under a lot of stress as I'm still studying for a test that I am going to take, but I don't think I have the job. I'm not closing off that I don't. I'm not saying it's one and done. They can't tell me I have anything until midsummer. So I have to wait. If something falls through, there you never know. Someone might get hired and find something better, and then the position's left open. So I'm hoping that's the case for me. I don't want to write anybody else's story for them. Hi, Blazing. Oh, I do. Trust me, after I get this white painting, I usually put my feet up. Right now they're up. That's why I like this chair. My feet are not down in the chair. They're straight. So here's the thing with castor oil and olive oil. I work. And if I could take a picture of the toilet that I use because it's in the room and because I just can't leave, it's a ballerina squatty potty. Squatty potty. Squatty. Squatty. The last thing I need is paint everywhere. Don't need that. So hope everybody's doing okay. I'm trying to just recapitulate things. Um, because I'm not trying to let I haven't been trying to let my situation bother me. I had a vent that had to come out of me. Now that it's out of me, it's like, okay, so what can I do? I'm in control of my life. Okay, let's look for jobs. Hi, Gregory. So eh, I've been looking. I don't know if I have to revamp my resume again for the 98th time. I don't know what it is. I mean, and I never lived outside of New York before, and I only know people that lived in certain states where things run very similar. Like everything in Indiana, you need a freaking license for. If you, and I don't agree with that shit. It's a red state, so what the hell? Um, to serve alcohol or to be anything in that realm, you need a whole course in a 9 yards. So you have to go for school for that. That's money. Um, anytime you're dealing with food, you need a food handler's license. Everything is a license and they cost a lot of money. So I was like even thinking about going to do bar back and clean up at a bar or whatever. I'm gonna start looking into the hotel thing for housekeeping. I don't have to be around people. And I like cleaning. Or I have to find a rich man to marry. But we see at 42 that doesn't go that very well with myself. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm not thinking lowly of myself either, but there has to be a reason at this stage of my life. And we can always say, well, you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and patience is it is a virtue. But I'm done being patient because I've been patient my whole life, right? So I'll see how tomorrow's review goes. I think my AP is more on it than my principal when it comes to hiring and stuff. So I'll mention it to her. Hey, getting a frame done. I don't know what I want to do with this one though. I'm not sure. So the Schumann's been going crazy. Oh, before I go any further, there was a planetary alignment. See, my brain's off. Brain is off. This is what happens when I rush to come home. But I need this. Did I save it? No. Oh, and by the way, all of Jason's kitties and Louie is doing fantastic. Louie, he's a barker. And today, how hot did it reach today? It was like 70 degrees, but in the sun, it felt a lot warmer. It was a pleasant day. And child thus said, uh, started yesterday. So that's all been bananas, beyond bananas. What alignment? Where did I throw that? There's another planet that entered Aries. It depends on what it is, but a lot of places here, from what I've been asking around with people that work in the industries, they're all like, no, we had to have it before. Like we got hired, great. But then yeah, they give you a little bit of time, but like a lot of places are not paying out for those licenses. It's like you can't go like free fishing day. So you can go to one of the state parks here in Indiana and go fishing for free. It's a red state that needs a lot of overhaul. I'm going to tell you that. Okay, so I don't think I have it, but you know what? I do have, and I can't play it, but it's really funny. If you go on my Facebook, New York is not a real place. There's a pigeon that walked onto the train for a few stops, and then as if it knew that it was getting off, it just left. So now pigeons ride the train and kind of like, oh, I'm getting off here. They got the tail end. It is hysterical. So go watch that. That was like hilarious. I laughed my face off. Laughed my face off. It was great. Um, for those who, hi, El Sunray. Yeah, each state has its own different facets, and every town and every this and every that. It's so confusing. New York is one entity, one thing. You go out, you get your shit, and you're good. Um, I don't understand the mentality. I think that everything in like again, Trump, where are you? More people would be in better shape job wise if they would stop with all this nonsensical licensing. And I'm not saying that don't you should know what you're doing, but it shouldn't have to cost you outside of your job to get something to do it. For me, example, I have 10 years of experience in a classroom. 10, not two, not one, 10. You would think I know what I'm doing by now. Do I need to go to pay $20,000 for a license, a teaching license course? It's not even a freaking degree to do what I'm already doing now. Why should it cost me that much to go back to school to get a license of something I'm already experienced in? And for a subject I have a bachelor's degree in. Doesn't make sense to me. It's not high school, it's elementary. But it's like the mafia here, it's who you know. I'm like, wow, I live down the block from Sammy the Bull Gravano. I should have taken pictures and be like, look, here's the mafia. Very close to my house. So paint layer one on the frame. I mean, it's interesting. I don't really go by the tarot and the oracle card stuff that I see online so much. I don't read into everything, but the theme is everything is going to be a fantastic, beautiful day. I'm not seeing it. I have a month to figure my life out. That's not an easy task. So for everybody that's out there, I know change is incoming, but my gosh, goodness sakes. Obviously, the mafia already existed here because it just moved from Chicago and came over here Someone told me this is where the dumping ground for bodies were. No wonder why my house is so haunted. Anybody else having a abnormal amount of psychic paranormal stuff happening to them lately? Anyone? Hi, Barbara. Anybody having paranormal activity? Because my goodness sakes, I am. I mean, had I have cameras, but they're like nanny cams for like inside the house, not necessarily outside. And I need the outside of my house to be filmed. So I have those nanny cams on the outside, but at night you really can't see. I I wouldn't even know if the stuff that I mean, people are like, I don't believe you, and you said everything in your kitchen was flying. Oh, it was. I'm just putting a layer here. I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm letting spirit control that. Yeah, I'm being tested in every which way. I think you are too, Amy. I mean, between alien, ghost, astral, elemental, it's been obscene. And I'm still looking for the slip for my mower. So I went and mowed last weekend. Um Once again, I don't know what's magical about my backyard, but I go in my backyard and I got that 5D experience, a little different. I didn't get butterflies, but I saw a lot of amazing things. So there is hope. I like going outside and grounding my energy by doing yard work. But it's not easy when your mower doesn't work all day. The mower drains. I have a battery operated mower. Um, Not because I don't believe in gas, but it's getting the gas can up and down into my car. It's really heavy. And I need help. I don't have it. And when you need help, it's at the beck and call of someone else when they're free. So that doesn't necessarily work. Yes, it is. Mine's three, two and a half, 3 years old. I like it because it's self-propelled, so I still have to hold it, but it propels for the my driveway. There's a huge little hit, like a dip, that it's a pain in the ass to propel it, like to push it forward, especially where the tree is. So I just hold that thing and it goes. Oh, that's amazing, El Sunray. Freya hasn't been like Thor is very inconsistent as of the last week too. Like he shows up, but I get it. He's not doing his own thing on his own time. But I don't even think he came today because I left. I don't leave the wet food out in the summer because then I get flies and bees. And I had an infestation, I'm not gonna lie, of black flies in my house last year. It was disgusting. And I mean, I got a lot of working out from swatting them and killing them all, but I had infestation. So I'm only leaving out the dry food for him when I don't see him during the day. Yeah, I don't want to cut anything because it still works. My mower still works. It's just it drains my batteries, and to buy new like another set of batteries, I don't have the money for that right now. So I'm going into like this is how my like experiences happen. So I'll do like the first part, the front of my house. I'll do the side of my house and I'll get like the first little part of my yard done. And then I'll take that battery and put it on the charger as I'm finishing the rest with the other battery. But the other day, because the grass was so thick and full and I didn't cut it for forever, because I allow the pollinators to do their things. Um, it took me a while, so I was able to sit outside and weed whack and look at my garden. My elderberry tree is starting to bloom. The raspberries are starting to bloom again. So I'm excited. One of my planters took a shit. I need to find another one or get some plywood and build around what's there structure wise. My sage is rosemary, So, oh, that's amazing. Yay. I understood you, Ashmaya. Um, yeah, I don't know what to do with my mower, but there's no way I can afford a new one right now, and I can't keep, you know, every week because that's how fast my grass grows. Hey, Jason, can I borrow your mower? That's not gonna work. He's always outside mowing. Um, so yeah, there's just my head. Yeah, I'm not gonna cut a cord. I will email them pictures of the model of my shit. I have the paperwork of my purchase. I'm just looking for it. And then I will call them up and yeah. You let me know, Amy. What you want, I'll send it out. Um, I'm waiting for that to dry. I have these like flat canvases here that I want to repurpose. I just don't know with what yet. And I had a folder get stuck to this. Choo choo train. I don't know what I'm doing on here. Covering it up, maybe. Clouds. I'll put something in the clouds. Clouds, maybe. Wait for that to dry. Oh, it might. Thank you, Scott. I'm actually gonna copy and paste that. Boop a doop boop boop boop. Boop a doop boop boop boop. Ta-da! Okay. Yeah, my feet are swollen. Wow, and they're throbby. I did drink water today. And actually, one of the kids, don't know how, they like climbed up on a chair and they got my electrolyte water. I put some flavoring in it, like lemonade, blackberry. They got to it and they had a good time sipping on it. It was great. Hmm. Yeah. I want to know like what the planet, I know, I think it's Venus. And it's important for all of us. It's not just air, like just because something says like Aries or whatever it is, whatever your sign is, and you're like, oh, it doesn't affect me. It does. It affects everybody differently. Though I do notice, I don't know if you guys get the same, I get a lot of spiritual memes and like information about like what's going on. But a lot of it has to do with believing in yourself, decisions you're making, and taking the right steps forward. The cycles are ending, change is happening, having faith in the universe, the quantum leaps, like it's all the same. I mean, today's source message, this is your winning season. Doesn't feel like it at all. Where you used to fail, you now prosper. I am not prospering. I'm still suffering. Not that I want to. I show up every day today. I wore a skirt to work. I had to change into pants because it's a hot skirt. Like it's long, so I might but I looked very professional today, as I do every day. Like I show up. I ran here to go do a live. Like I'm not lazy. I'm showing up. Where you used to be shy, you're now showing up empowered. I am every day. The universe is both protecting and cradling you with every decision you make and every step you take. You are abundantly blessed and highly favored. Make today another opportunity to step toward your dream life. I do every day. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I have yet to figure out how to get YouTube and Zoom encoded so that when I can just press a button and go live without having to jump through a million five hoops. And I haven't figured it out just yet. So I just when I know what time I'm going live, that's another issue. I never know. Like today, I got home rather late from Dina and Jason's. I had a lot of traffic on the way home. I almost died. That was fun. Whoever was watching out over me, like, made the last minute decision to go around that moron driving like an asshole. Um, but yeah, I almost could have had my life ended today. Um, so it took me forever to get home. That's why I don't really post what I until I get home to know what time I'm going live. I try to keep it between 5 and 5:30 Central. Now, SD has the keys of Enoch for almost $300. Just an FYI, anybody out there that still has yet to read it. Yeah, I post as soon as I know what's going on, I post to Telegram. My teacher had a really rough day. Uh, Crazy parent. Um, a lot happened today, and I just left work and went straight to Jason's and Dina's and um took care of the cats and then ran right back here. So yeah. Um uh, it's 64 degrees here. Jeez Louise. Now, my arthritis activates when there's a transition in seasons and storms. We're supposed to get storms at some point this week. Although there's been crazy tornado-y weather from all the way from Texas all the way up here, and then shifting over to Ohio and I think New York. I tried to yawn. I also have a problem with my jaw right here. It hurts like hell, and it's hard to open up my mouth. Hi, see Alan. Yay. Brother. I put it out there, brother Curtis. We're gonna try to find somebody in California that can help you. Oh yeah, it is the bariatric pressure. Oh, I know about. Oh my gosh, I know. I can tell you when a storm is coming days before it happens. Um, I can't. Mm, I can't. Just can't. So I have a question out there for my patriotal people that I love so much. Um, it's been 100 days. How has the 100 days affect you in your everyday 3D existence? Go. As I'm trying to find what I'm trying to find here. um, why am I asking this? It's not because I'm against 47. And I know it's 100 days, but if this is a cog and Auto Pen was Auto Pen, who was really behind the scenes, military, high military, like why is gas still over $3 here? Why is food still extremely expensive? Why is my property tax like still property taxing and income tax and all these taxes? Why are they still happening? All these things. Like interesting. My school had homes and houses Head Start, which is one of the key things that were going to be in Doge to be cut off. But yet this afternoon there was a bunch of people get trying to get them accredited in my building. So let me ask a question. I'm not it obviously it's not Trump. I want to know at what point are we the people? I don't see the changes happening. Oh, well, it takes time. It takes time. Okay, we've been waiting perpetually for or over 10 years. Longer than that for some of us. I have given up on the politics stuff. Things said they things were being said, now they're being retracted. Where's the $5,000? That can go for many of us a very long way. And I'm going to keep bringing it up because at some point, something has to change. And moving on with life is getting harder and harder. And the conversations that I've been having is the kids are being affected. If we're all about the kids and the children, so mommy and daddy are never home, right? Is this now the educational system's problem? Like I was trying to put it to a left side brain with why education has to go down. I'm in all agreement that it does because my kids should have things in the classroom that they don't. And where is the funding for it? And the federal funding and all this other stuff, like where is this stuff coming from? Where's the money for this school system in each and every town, millions of schools across the country? That's amazing. And I'm so happy for you that you are walking. Um, all of us, I don't care if you're retired, I don't care if you're working, and not that I say I don't care, I care because I love you guys. But at what point we're all in a part of our change going through this insanity. And on the spiritual side, I get frustrated too because I'm trying to keep my vibrations high as a kite. And I'm trying to walk into the mission that I remember walking in and knowing that I signed up for. And there's a lot of components to that great contract I have. I don't see it for everybody else. These children, parents are going to work. They have to work 3 to 4 jobs just to maintain a household. That's absurd. People like, why don't you go work for here and we'll work for there? Well, because in your state, when you work at Costco or even at Walmart, the pay is different from where I am. The YMCA, I worked for them for 11 years. They don't get paid the same way they do in New York than they do here. And in New York, I wasn't getting paid any better. So I want to know, how are the kids that we all pretend to want to save? They need saving too, the ones that are just getting by. Their parents are getting by. We want to homeschool our kids, but where's the funds for the kids to get food, clothing? My internet bill lowered so my telephone bill went up. Some guy was trying to sell me a new roof and he goes, "Oh, you have to go through insurance." Oh, no, 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 because of the storm, it's not going to up your premium. Bullshit. I'm not stupid. Yeah, I'm not going through insurance to get a new roof. And then I pay a deductible I can't afford. I told the guy, get out of here. Yeah, you gotta ground yourself, Mr. Curtis. And you were doing that. You told me you went for a walk. But don't allow people to feed off of you. That's it. Like I go to work and I knowing and choosingly give my frequency to the kids because they need it more than anything else. That grounds them. The kids are having a hard time. The kids are having a hard time energetically, especially the kids on the spectrum and neurodivergent kids. They're having a very hard time right now. So we're only adding to their stress levels because they don't know how to go out and ground or expend their energy in more productive ways besides doing this. The kids are heavily being affected. We think we're getting affected. They're just as much getting affected in getting their uploads and downloads. And no, nothing happens overnight, but here's my issue. If there was an auto pen and a lot of people that follow this movement, we know a lot. And I honestly told Dina the other day, like looking at Jason's office, I'm like, you got to talk to somebody down there, get Chella on the DL and get to getting these people to know, acknowledge that Jason has like a library. Where is Trump's library? And please take some of this off of us. I really want to say there's 1.7 million documents in that house. I think there's more than that. Honestly. Hi, Christina. Like I know Jason can math and do a lot of math, but I think he's holding his own self back with the amount that I just saw in his office today. Well, that office is closed. But the time that I was there before the day before they left, when I walked in there, OMG, the amount of papers. And I mean, I've seen it all. So there's no hiding any of that. I think it's 1.7. And not because it's 17. But I really do think that's really where the number's at. Um, oh yeah, I can't with I'm hoping that there's a connection down there. Um, I'm trying to find names of the people, the educational system in Indiana, in Indianapolis, and I'm also gonna try to get an aid of Linda McMahon's and literally like vomit my feelings out. Hi, Bob. I really want to vomit my feelings out. I shouldn't have to fight so hard for a dream that other people get handed to. No one, it does things just don't make sense. Hi, Catherine. Miss Kate. It's sticky. It's not dry yet. I don't know what to put here. Hmm. Well, my paint is drying. So yeah, I just wanted to get a pulse from you guys. Where you think, has your life changed in the last 100 days? Because mine has not, which makes me sad. Very sad. I have to figure out something within the month. Um, I honestly don't know what route to go. Spirit has not divulged anything towards me. Uh, I'm still pushing for my dream job. Still pushing. but nothing in this world is a guarantee. Nothing in 3D is a guarantee. How could we can rechain we can reload that as a nothing in 3D is guaranteed because it ain't 3D and we're still here. Yeah, I mean that's I'm seeing it here now too because but I have to say a woman started in my room today. She was just it's a temporary and I looked at her. She has a autistic child because we can't maintain a person of help in my room. And she knows what she's doing. It is a I told my principal, like, he was like, how did everything go today? I looked at him and I said, I'm smiling finally. Like this is somebody that's hands-on with the kids that can actually keep order when I'm in the bathroom changing children. This is fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah. But I don't know how long she's gonna last. But she's in the who we know who we know people. I don't know anybody here. I know Jason, and I was talking to his aunt the other day, and I'm like, if you know somebody that knows somebody that can get me somewhere else, I'd be happy to swap. But I need that equivalent pay for my experience, you know. Yeah, but I've been hearing that story for how many years now? And those other selves, they serve a purpose for our polarity, sadly. But here's the lie. Is it really them? Because if it is a movie and it is a script and they're going based off the script, then who is really perpetuating this shit? You have to think in depth. We can always give the blame game to that one side, but is it really that side pussyfooting around, or is it a movie script that we're supposed to believe? Hmm. Like I said, I honestly something is really wrong with my jaw. I could talk, but it hurts like a bitch. And I got no teeth back here, so it ain't no wisdom tooth. It's nothing stuck. Something is wrong with my jaw. There's no way I can go to a doctor right now. I can't afford it. But even if I could, even if I had to, it cost me $126 for pink eye. Get out of here. Just to get medication because the natural holistic stuff didn't work. Hmm. Hmm. Oh wow. I don't know if it's TMJ because it's mm, I don't know what it is. It just needs to leave because it's annoying when I try to eat. Oh, this shit hurts. And I don't know if I have an infection. I my all my teeth need to go in the first place, but you know, love living with tooth rot in my mouth. Love that. Love that. And I don't know when these people are fit. There's fiber optic cables. I thought we were going you know, from the sky, and apparently not. I'm doing something fun. It sounds like TMJ. Fuck my life. I don't know what to do with myself. Like I said, I need a bed. I need a whole new life. And not for the lack of effort of me trying. Trying so hard. I'm so glad that there other countries are demonstrating. It's a mixed bag over here because it is my county is blue. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. But just overall throughout the country, at some point they're perpetuating, oh, well, the prices are going to go down, but there's tariffs. Okay, so the tariffs are supposed to cover this X, Y, and Z. I know things are supposed to get hard, but they've been hard. It's not like it's not like this where everything was peachy keen and then all of a sudden the world stopped and you couldn't go get toilet paper or cleaning supplies. Like, yeah, inconvenience. And then you were limited to like I feel like we're back at that juncture again and that feeling of that juncture. Hi, Buckshot. That's what I was trying, Charlene, and it didn't really do shit. Yeah. Yeah, but like they're chopping up my block. They've been chopping up my neighborhood. And I'm on a main road and there's really nowhere to park besides my driveway. And they like, oh, it's gonna be 3 days. Like it's been 2 weeks. And they really haven't even gotten up. They like chopped up half my lawn between me and my neighbor to put the wires in. The wires are sticking up, they're capped off. But I am looking at like what when are you going to chop up my whole driveway? What goes on here? Nothing. But I didn't even get, I told my neighbor, I didn't even get a letter, a notice, a anything for any of this. I didn't get notified that there was going to be people on my property, in my driveway. Nothing. Zippo. I'm like this old lady. Like my pinky still hurts too, by the way. Pinky still hurts. I can't win. But I've been putting stuff on my pinky. The bruising is just near gone. Well, why I bring up this stuff and it because it affects us spiritually. What I mean by that is when you have to worry about 3D mundane stuff because that's how your physical vehicle lives, it ain't pleasant when you're in survival mode. And even if you know, for me, I'm like transcending I have already transcended a lot of shit. But I don't bank on promises that have not been kept. Optically, they look like they've been kept. And I'm not trying to say that he's not delivering. What I am saying is we the people are the ones suffering. And if you had all this stuff already optically planned out years ago, well, the corporation has been defunct since 2020. So in reality, where is this money? Where? Listen, it doesn't need to go into my bank account. It just needs to go in the places where if I do have to go back to my job in September and make crap, at least I'll be able to afford food with that crappy pay. Maybe I might be my cell phone bill will be a little easier to pay. Maybe my homeowner's insurance will be easier to pay. My gas and electric will go down a bit so that I don't have to fight my brains out on where do I do, how do I go from here? Hi, Miss Michelle. Hi, Lovey Bovey. It is a site. All of it is. Because I'm asking where's the military? If there was treason involved years ago, well then where is the arrests? What's up, girlfriend? Once I get more down on these lines, I think our friend Scott Pace will pick up what I am doing. Maybe. Uh, uh, we wrote the PSYOP, that's the problem. I wrote a very hard, difficult life this time around, and I know that I did. I just didn't think it would be perpetually continuing for this long. That's my problem. I think I gave myself too much credit up there. I know I'm not alone in thinking that. I think I really did choose to try to have a hard, difficult life. So I ain't coming back to this bitch. But holy shit, if this is my last human life, why couldn't it have been a little easier? Yeah, I had an not an argument, a good conversation with the custodian about the word. Um, and I'm gonna give you something that I used to say as a child to my parents that used to fucking blow their brains. In that's not my child. So I said when I was a little girl around all the religious people that would talk, if God created all things, God created me. God created the words that are coming out of my mouth at this very instantaneous moment in simultaneous time space, right? But I simplify that. I said, God's in all things. God is me. God is putting the words in my mouth to project, and it's for experience purposes only. I said that when I was a very young kid. Don't worry, Michelle, I'm not ignoring you. I saw your text. I saw them. I just lied. Yeah, I need coffee. If I'm back at my old job next year, well, not next year, in a few months, I will be getting a Keurig at some point. I'm gonna win it chicken dinner somehow. Me's and needs of coffees. Like someone's running a machine outside. I'm trying to like figure out what outside. It's not my house. Charlene, to an extent, yes, we are. Because God is having a perpetuated experience through each and every one of us with each and every one of the emotions that we are all emitting constantly. And the knowing itself in full capacity and is in every aspect. So when I say there's no right or wrong, yes, we want to speak better words into existence. We do. We want to perpetuate better definitions for things. So that's where I'm at in my definition land, is finding ways instead of defining love in a million different ways, because love is really a feeling and it's an emotional state that is frequency that we hit. You know, when Sparky, aka Renee, sent me a picture of a sloth, I was like all warm and fuzzy inside. I was like, yes, picture. Like that meant everything to me because that made my day. When I'm sitting here painting and just doing like I did that, I don't I got over my perfectionism. I'm not using a ruler anymore. I used to be that person sitting for hours trying to make something perfect when I just need to let the process go. I'm not drafting an architectural wonder. I'm just doing a paint and sip. Why does it need to be perfect? It does. It doesn't. So I've come a long way in terms of me just creating and doing. Like nothing has to be perfect anymore. Nothing. I don't old self, old me, art school me would have literally took a ruler out and a compass and really freaking set everything on here in a grid. I can't do that anymore. That it's a waste of time. I'm not here creating a building that actually needs a grid. But I'm not sitting here to go, oh, like here, where's my focal point? So what the circle is it's smaller over here, and why do I care? And it's not that I have OCD, because I really don't. But for me, I had this ideal in my artistic sense that everything needs to be perfect. And I got over that because nothing does need to be perfect. It needs to feel great for me. Hi, Corinne. Like it's a piece of canvas. It's not a car. It's not a part. It's not something where it needs to be exact. It's a painting. And it only needs to be exact for me. So why do I need to be a perfectionist all the time? So I let that paradigm go. That's a hard one to do. But in the grand scheme of the universe, watching the videos that I've been watching, I leave the links in the lives when I find them, because there's a lot of different channels now kind of bringing up the themes that I'm going through, like being a dark one. Not to the extent dark meaning like I'm living in my shadow. I'm going through my shadow work. I'm going through an ego death. And ego death, there's multiple deaths of the ego. It's not just, oh, I went through my ego death. Now I don't have an ego. No, you need your ego in 3D. It's how you are applying your ego in the world that matters. We're human. It's going to take a while for us to actually literally legitimately allow the higher self to take over, but that's not for I don't think another cycle or two. And that cycle can be tomorrow or in 10 years. But coming back to the political stuff and like just worldly things, when is more of us going to say enough is enough? Because if we're all suffering and just making it by month to month and drowning, what do you think people with the kids are having? The kids are the way they are because there's not too many parents that have a single income. They have multiple streams of income, and not all the time are these parents home to take care of their own kids. Times in the last 5 years have been insane. If we're looking at the children, we have to look at all of them, not just the ones that have been. So how do we change things? I'm going to be writing to some people I've written already. I'm probably going to word things a little differently and come more from my authenticity to say, hi, like kids are still in school. I don't care if you just dismantled the DOE. That's great. Congratulations. Yeah, every town needs to be audited. All these school boards and all the property taxes that you keep. Why do you think your property tax still exists? Things need to run in each town that you live in. So in what avenue do these things get addressed? You know, to a normal everyday person, okay, mind you, normal everyday person gets up, goes to work. In what universe, if they can't afford the food in the store now, what makes you think they're going to afford the healthier stuff that is twice the price? Oh, they can grow it. You know what? But food takes time to grow. I put in a lemon. I started a lemon tree 2 years ago. The lemon tree died. I put out lettuce last year, lettuce seeds. It never came out. I had one romaine lettuce survive. So I had a little bit of romaine lettuce last year and some tomatoes. But you can't sustain off of that. A lot of the stuff I planted last year, we had a drought here in Indiana. Nothing really grew, even if I was watering the plants. Like my stuff did not grow. So yeah, anybody could grow a garden if it yields results. But in the meantime, you still need to eat. So these are the things I want people to ponder about. And when we want to think about creating the reality, we're bringing 5D down to here. What do we actually want and what is feasible for 3D? Because there's a merger happening. It's coming here. So we're not going, the space aliens aren't taking me out to outer space. Because there is, in my estimation, it's the world's beyond, it's the lands beyond. Okay, so you take me to another density of existence. it we're bringing it here because we have to clean it up here. But we all need a break so that we can get back on our feet, be happy and joyous, and lift more of the frequency up. If people are in perpetual suffering in 3D, and yes, everything stems from inside, but if the world outside is dictating chaos and low funds and hell in a handbasket, well, how is anybody on the higher end of frequency going to make it spiritually? I could be in Kumbaya land all day, but in reality, I still need to live it. My 3D body still has needs. I need a roof over my head. I need food to put in my stomach. I need I need nature. And these are needs that need to be met. Everything else is extra. But within the confines of this, my watch is perpetually, the 3D linear time is continuously tinkering. Tick tock, tick tock. In the last 100 days, all I'm seeing is everybody else on the higher end getting breaks and having great things happen. And the people that, everyday people that are working are still paying high prices in certain areas where if you give a little bit of a relief, it would bring people's vibrations up a little higher. Oh, when I go to the grocery store, $100 can get me half a basket full of food, not 5 items. Just putting that one out there. We want to save the kids, but at the same time, the kids are the ones in school. The kids are the ones right now going home to an empty home because and iPad babies because mommy and daddy are working. Maybe they do remote work. Maybe they just had a long day at their full-time job and now they're working their part-time job, and this is perpetuating the kids not having the attention and the emotional status from their parents because mommy and daddy have to pay the bills or else you're out of the apartment, the house, the whatever. Is that healthy? Is that what we want really for our kids? And it starts with government being held accountable for, hey, you said you were going to lower this shit. It's 100 days. I get it. But if there was an auto pen involved, who really is in control? We're being deceived. Don't get any bones about it. There's deception on both sides. Like I said, when people are putting on masks and we're talking about NPCs and clones, there's a problem right there because there's no transparency. So who's not walking in their authentic path to telling the actual literal truth, not some story off of a movie plot? It's a movie and there's a plot and a climax. And we went through many climaxes. When is it going to be the time to say, okay, enough is enough, auto pen or not? What the what the everyday people that wake up every day and work should not have to suffer. I show up every day and my work is not valued. The things that I do in a classroom is not valued by the normal world, but it makes me happy because I know that I am making a humongous difference in a kid's life. And my babies are cute. But I pose these things not to be an asshole, not to be against anybody. I just legitimately want to know at what point is enough enough? And what point is all of us going to get some sort of relief? And it shouldn't matter where and what part of the country you live in. It should not matter. It devastates me to have to go to the food bank, and then I see the line is horribly long. There shouldn't be a line, period. There shouldn't be a line at a food bank. They shouldn't even exist. And if they do, it should be like co-oping. Hey, my apple orchard like yielded so much apples this year. You know what? I'm gonna give those the extra apples for free. That's what it should be for. Hey, my garden yielded so much extra this. Does anybody need it? Hey, let me go to the food bank. Let's put it there. Maybe someone can swap out. If you need lettuce, I'll leave apples. Or I have berries, I'll leave this. That should be what a food bank really needs to be. Not, oh, let's go get everybody's pity and elicit all these supermarkets to give just about expired food to these places. Hi, Kim. I mean, for us, the purpose on a spiritual basis is that we're being confronted with a vast amount of change. And it's putting the power back into yourself. So, in the last 5 years of my life, I mean, my mom died. I was working, I was getting up, I was showing up. And I then 3 years ago, I started this channel. Everything just decided to ricochet out of control. And the last 3 years have taught me how much I have persevered, how much I am moving forward in the face of adversity, and it's showing me that I can do it. But me looking out at the outside other selves and seeing that these kids are exhausted, they're hungry, their needs are not being met. And that's not the lack of parenting, that's the lack of money. And I don't like money. I don't think life should be revolving around that. But in 3D, that's what we chose to sign up for. As I'm seeing all these richy people go out and hoard their own wealth and not help others, and then some of them are helping others. It just blows my mind, to say the least. Everything has a cause and effect, and everything that we chose has an effect and a growth and a lesson. Beautiful. But at what point, I could go tomorrow and work for the post office. That's one of those jobs that anybody can kind of do, right? I can go to the post office and get a job. Will I actually be happy in it? Probably not. I am doing what I love. The energy and the how I show up should be paid for, but it ain't. And that can go for any field in the world. Oh, we're bringing industry back. We're bringing all this stuff is coming to Northwest Indiana, the steel mill and all this stuff. Okay, that's fantastic. Are you going to require 18,000 different licenses and assurance that everybody is paying for it on their own? Or are you going to give the on-job training and you're going to pay for these licenses or these, but also the post office is going down, right? Like I'm trying to look at every avenue of like, what can I do right now for money? And I don't like to do that. I want to be happy with what I do. I have a mission here and I'm trying to keep within it. But I make more than a daycare worker. Figure that crap out. Figure that one. So daycare is out of my question because they don't make enough. I make way more than them. That's even sad. Um, Going back to school is an option only if I get signed and they give me an emergency permit to work. Will I be able to become an art teacher? Because the bank wants to know that I could pay the loan back. The school, the entity that gives me the loan for school needs to know that at some point I will be able to pay it back. And with a shit ton of interest on top of that. So therein lies the same thing with my art stuff, right? Everybody's like, well, why don't you go online? Why don't you get this and why don't you go do that? If I had an online store, I have to pay insurance. I have to have an LLC because they require certain things. And yes, I can use my social security as my tax ID and all that stuff, but in certain avenues, it doesn't work. Like the system is too far off and gone that it needs a revamp. Like the back of my head recently doing my taxes, I'm like, I really need to change my last will and testament because I do have one. I don't know where I'm leaving anything to. If I died tomorrow, I don't know, like put me in the ground somewhere. I don't know, Potter's Field. I don't know if they have that out here in Indiana. I don't know. Like I'm channeling, sorry. That was just off of left field. Even if I make it somehow and a miracle happens within a month, as the empath in me, I want the system to not just to change for me because I'm uncomfortable, but like Curtis is going through it, Ivy's going through it. Hi, Ivy. Like all of you in some capacity are going through it. Am I eating Ritz crackers and peanut butter today, or am I, going to get stale bread? I don't know. What is priorities? What bill is important this month? The electric or the gas? You see, Bob, here's the thing. Like I had to have one because of my mother. The reason why was I was her everything. Now, if something were to happen to me, my mom did not want another entity outside of my family to have control over her estate and everything that she left. Mind you, I'm in the same boat. Like I own my home. Think that's the only saving grace that I have, and that's one I made sure to have. But at some point, like if I croak tomorrow, or like earlier, I really almost came inches away from death. Today, on the way home from Dana and Jason's taking care of the kitties and Louie, like someone, I'm going and someone's turning, and literally, if I didn't skirt my car around, I would have been dead. And they were going at mass capacity speed, as I had the green light and they did not. I get it, emergencies happen, but I almost died. Oh God. You're funny, Ivy. Um, I'm happy whoever was in my vehicle at literally in this body to make my course direction different in my car. I'm thankful. We all serve a purpose. No, I don't want to go out by a car accident. Like that would have been so like he the it, this is how close. If I didn't like curve out my car and do that, I would have been hit in driver's side head on, just about like to the side. I would have been done. Smushed. It was so close. I don't know how I did not get hit on the way home. I want my powder moment. It better happen when I'm ready to transcend this body to go into sixth, seventh density. I'm excited. I think all of us are going to eventually I don't think I have my theories out there. And Bashar even says it like if you die in this one parallel dimensional space, does that mean you could choose to be back in a body in 2 seconds and live your other self? And that would be the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics because you're entangled to your other selves. Your other selves are alive and well right now, hanging on. Um, I want to say about I got home around 5 and I was on Mississippi and 73rd, 450 this afternoon. It doesn't take me long to get to Jason's house at all. If I take the back road, if I take 30, it takes a longer time because of the traffic, but I had traffic. I got there really quick from work, 5 minutes, but getting home took me over 20. Scott's been bugging me about a wolf. Here's a wolfie. I still plan on doing curriculum stuff. I'm just something within me is like, well, if it happens, it happens. It's not a waste of time because it's still gonna be awesome anyway. But my brain needs a break because it's an emotional roller coaster, and I can't keep getting myself feeling defeated because I do feel defeated, and I have to transmute that energy. I don't like feeling like that. I really do. I come home sometimes from work feeling like, why? I'm showing up. I am putting every effort forward. And that's with everything else I have ever done. I show up and I give 110% and that nothing ever works out for me. And when I say that, oh, maybe something bigger and better will come. And I yet to have lived that something bigger and better have yet to come. So it's not because I'm trying to talk myself in a bad give myself bad vibrations. Absolutely not, because when I'm showing up and I'm putting the energy out, I'm dressing the part. I'm like in it to win it chicken dinner, and I'm happy at work, even though I complain a lot. I just don't like how the system is ran. But when it comes to actually being hands-on with the kids, I'm in my happy place. When I'm holding the babies and I'm wiping their tears and their boogers and playing with them on the floor, like I'm in my happy place. I'm happy, right? So it's not because I don't want to work. It's not because I'm sitting back with I don't know, with my popcorn, waiting for something outside of myself. Oh, this paintbrush. Um, Something outside of me to make me happy. I'm happy because when I'm in the moment doing what I love to do, I'm happy. I really am. Like I said today, like I wore a skirt to work. Allison doesn't do that. I don't. I wore a skirt. I was looking cute. I look professional. Like I said, I'm showing up as if I'm putting the energy out as if I'm in the moment with the kids as authentically as it can be. I'm happy. So what is it? What more do I need to do to start manifesting and collapsing those wave functions and the waveform to collapse, to open up a manifestation for something that I'm gonna be successful at? And success to me is not the amount of money or the material resources you have. Success is showing up for yourself authentically and striving to do better each and every day and learning something new. That to me is success. When you have your experience, you're walking your wisdom through and imparting it on others. That to me is success. Striving for better, going out and doing better. That to me is success. Not that you have a Rolls Royce in your driveway and you live in a 26 room house. That to me isn't successful. Right. And Corinne, I seriously graduated from college, ready to go to take my master's, and my dad died. And then we knew that my dad was on his way out. We just didn't know when. And then I got sick. So my whole life had to shift on that swivel had to shift really quick. I got a full-time job. I started working, didn't make much of anything, but I actually love lifeguarding. To me, it was a great job. I got to sit. I didn't have to expend too much of my body because it didn't want to expend. I was sick, but I was able to do a lot, but it never made me any kind of material wealth. What I do right now, unless you have a fucking piece of stupid paper that tells you you are fucking on it, you could go get a damn master's degree tomorrow. Does that mean you know how to walk into a classroom and teach? Absolutely not. It does not. Does not. And I'm not saying that people don't need job training. I absolutely think that you have to, school only prepares you for some stuff. Like I went to school for art. Do I know every facet of art? No. I already had to have this skill in order to get into the school. But what I did get from school was experience. and learning different strategies and different ways and approaches to look at something. My teachers gave me an open view of how to look at something and break it down in multiple different ways. They let me be creatively abstractly, but brought me down into the 3D and be practical. So art school gave me a lot of different components that I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. Just let's this be square, but I had to have the talent already. You can't just go to art school and be drawing stick figures. You're going to get lost. Just like if you go into if you play an instrument, you already have to kind of master your instrument before you go into a conservatory. And yes, they'll teach you how to play the other instruments you need to know, but you already know how to read the music. You already know the theories and stuff. I do believe that when you go work at a job, you should get on the job training. But should I have to pay 20 to 30, 40, 50, $60,000 to get a piece of paper when experience is more optically easier to gain than a stupid piece of paper anybody could go to school for and pass? I have watched in my 10 years of being a para, teachers not last more than a year because they can't handle what they thought was school, what they thought was all this stuff that you could intellectually like retain. Oh, what's a predicate? What's a prefix? What's a suffix? Oh, how do you do that math? Oh, okay. And here's all the theories and how to sit the kids down into a circle. Here's what you need to do for this and that. Okay, now actually go into a room with kids and do it. And a lot of teachers fail. They fail. They don't know how to connect with the kids. They don't know how to adapt to their environment. They want kids to fold to them. It's the opposite way around. You have to work with what element you have in the room. My dad always said that as a teacher. He goes, each year the kids' dynamics change. I have to come up with insightful, joyful stuff to do based on where my kids are at now, not 10 years ago, not in 5 years. I need to know how to adapt in my classroom in the now moment. I can't do that if I'm going based off a curriculum that they shove down my throat, because that does not work. Michelle, exactly. Exactly. Like, I'm not a master in jack shit, but I have many sorted out different talents. And based on my 20 years dance experience, my whole life I've been an artist. Seriously, I've been drawing since I was a little kid. I showed you guys my junior high school work. I was a Zumba instructor for 10 years. Like, I worked in and got experience. And that's for any job. Like, Viking, being in real estate school and getting his realtor license. Like you can't just pop up one day. You need marketing. You need to know how to make a website. There is not just selling a house. There's so many other facets that go into doing it, and you need to have the experience of selling and actually communicating with other people in order to be successful. Just because you hold a fucking license doesn't mean you're going to be able to do anything with it. Just because you know how to do something doesn't mean you do it well. Bob, that's my point that I was trying to point out to my principal. I said, you want me to go for gen ed, you want me to go for special ed, but that's not my wheelhouse. That's not where my bachelor's degree is at. My expertise and experience is in art. You want me to get accredited or you want me to get licensure, fine, but I'm not getting it in anything other than art because that's my wheelhouse. I know how to conduct a classroom. I know how to handle children having tantrums. All of that's great, but I don't want to teach what a predicate is or look at the numbers. I'm dyslexic. I can't do I can try to teach math, but like I have to go even with the older kids. I have to physically draw something out for my own self to understand what these kids are doing. And it's fourth grade. And it's not me saying I'm stupid. It's just the way they explain shit, my brain doesn't process. Never did. So why would I want to go to school for a general education license when that's not what I want? Just because you can use me in other facets? No, we're not be I'm not a pawn in your scheme. I'm not. This is yeah, and all of what everybody here is contributing in the chat is like it's spot on. And this is the problem that I have with this administration at the current time. I'm not saying it's 47's fault. I'm not. This has always been an issue. But you want to give things back to the people, you have to relinquish. If you want to break the system down, then why aren't we all being asked how do we want it to be formatted? You're still leaving it to the towns. The towns are corrupt. They're mafia-esque all over the place. It doesn't matter where you live. Blue state, red state. Doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. It's all corrupt. Absolutely, Ashmaya. And that's basically tomorrow when I have the interview. It's not an interview. I haven't gone on my interview yet. I don't think I'm going to. But when I'm asked about my job performance and the job I'm performing at now, and I'm going to get asked some questions from my assistant principal, I'm going to be squarely authentic and honest with her because she seems cool. I like my school. I like them. They're great. But the system itself sucks. So you have to work within what means you have. And I'm going to explain it to her. Like, I'm not born yesterday. I'm not some 20-year-old off the street. You even said I'm one of the biggest anomalies you've ever seen in your career. That you got somebody coming in with experience, not somebody off the street that doesn't have a shit from Shiola experience. You show up, you're here, and you're determined. I said, okay, so where is the pay for that? Where's the energy exchange? Where's the salary? And the only reason why I stress the salary is because Christmas break is 2 weeks, spring break, there's a February break, there's this day and that day and this day and that day. And when I don't get a full paycheck, I just skin my teeth with my bills. And if it wasn't for half of you helping me in the chat, I'd be already out of my ass. You know, so I got to figure it out in the next month. What am I doing with my life? Because I'm fed up with my own self. I keep putting myself out, trying, putting applications out, just testing the water on maybe I need to revamp something. But a bunch of people looked at my resume already and they're like, oh, it's fine. It's not too much and it's not, you're hitting every point that you need to hit. No, and I shouldn't have to go fucking 5 states over to make some, income. And also like other states, a lot of teachers are going on strike. There's a lot going on in the system right now, and I know it needs to crumble. It's not perfect, it needs to go. I totally understand that. But no, something has to buffer its place. You're taking special education and you're throwing it to the wolves at this moment in time. The, the kid that I have now in my classroom, I still don't have the things that she needs in my classroom. Thankfully, someone donated a piece of equipment that the child can hang out in. Otherwise, the kid would be in her chair the whole time, and that's not fair to her either. Oh, well, I love cinnamon too. Well, you see, Michelle, that's a problem. This is something though I will say. People are like, well, why don't you work for Sam's Club or go to Costco or go here? They have really good pay. Okay, in your state they do, not here. Every state has different pay, and I don't know why that is. Like the YMCA in New York, pay shit. But the Ys out here pay just as bad. Like make it make sense. Like McDonald's in New York does not get the same pay as McDonald's in Indiana. It's the same fucking franchise. It should all get the same pay. Teachers make six figures in New York if you're over a certain point of time. Teachers here are making what I was making as a paraprofessional. Why? I don't know. I had to go to the yard today and take a picture for Chick-fil-A. I'm going to drop this bomb because I know somebody that this happened to. The military. One of my exes uh lived in Connecticut and was doing the National Guard out of Massachusetts. He didn't make what he wanted because I don't know. I don't know if it was his test scores. I don't know whatever he was trying to do. But the moving on up system always skipped him. They always skipped him. I don't know why. The man did 3 tours overseas, traumatized beyond PTSD, beyond. And when I asked him when I was with him and he deployed, I'm like, well, how much are you making for this deployment? And what he said to me, my jaw dropped and I got so effing angry. I was over it. Over it. I'm like, that's how much you're getting paid to put your life on the line to go over there for all this time away from your family and friends to go and what? To make that? What universe are we living in? And this was like a long time ago. I was livid, livid what military pay is on going overseas. Well, I get free health care. Fuck the health care. What? What? If I work at Costco in New York, it should be the same pay in Indiana. It's the same job. If I was working the register or stocking shelves in one state and I'm coming to a different state, it should be the same pay. It doesn't make sense why it's different pay. other than what comes out in income taxes and all the other fucked up taxes you got to pay, but the rate of pay should be the same. Mhm. So make it make sense because the world doesn't make sense. That's why there's a lot of states that have nobody, and there's a lot of states that have everybody. And unfortunately, the cities have more people because the pay is better. But then with the cost of living, the dollar menu in McDonald's is not no dollar menu in Manhattan. So how do we manifest? This is more what I want to talk about on Friday, but I'm gonna like skip because I want to pull cards on everything, and I'm painting. Um, how can we all start really thinking about the changes that need to occur in society? Because I do the inner work. I'm transmuting. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm showing up for myself. I'm dressing more on the, I was dressing professionally, but more laid back. Now I'm coming up and I'm wearing work professional clothes to work. Okay. And I'm on the floor. I'm changing diapers, but I don't care. I'm showing up for the role that I want. I'm showing up, I'm doing curriculum, even if no one ever sees it, I have it. I showed up for myself. I'm putting the energy out every day. And when I'm doing that, I'm transmuting more in my community. I'm transmuting the energy in the unseen. Great. How do we all collectively, within all facets of society, start making changes of we the people? If you really want to give things back to the people, then we need to start seeing we the people having control. We need to all perpetually start thinking about not who is perpetuating the evil, who's in control of the evil. We got to get out of that headspace and go, okay, so even if the light is perpetuating the shit, I don't care at this point because it's all source. By the way, it's God in all aspects of itself. So how do I manipulate God in myself to go, okay, what do we need in terms to change the world? We got to start with the 3D functionality of money. Why? Because it still is a function here. Yes, my 5D self doesn't need money. I don't want money up there. Don't need it. Instant manifester up there. But down here, all rules still apply. How do we get what we need and how can we get everybody on board with manifesting better for not just yourself, for all? You know what? And I said that to myself all Sunray because New York, you can't compare New York to Indiana. You can't, there's no comparison. New York is ridiculous. But moving here in the last literally bought my house 2 years and a half ago. My property tax is just as equivalent to New York. Yes, I have a lot more property, mind you, but when I first moved in, it was under $1,000 a year. A year. Now I'm paying quadruple the amount. I haven't paid it because I can't afford to, right? Food. Inflation did not necessarily happen here right away, where it happened in a lot of other states first, but it did hit here and it hit here hard because gas, I put gas in the car today. How much? almost $30 to fill up my tank. It was half full. Note my car is still 15 years old. And it dual exhaust. So gas is still very high in certain states. Um, food, food. Besides me, I'm one person, so it's hard when people ask me, oh, like I'll buy you groceries. I don't know even what to tell you because I honestly, my diet changes constantly because I'm going through the changes and my changes require different things compared to my thyroid needing different things. And then what is in Blossom, what's on sale? I don't know. I'm not trying to even think about food, but you know, my refrigerator is pretty bare, but I don't even care. I don't care. But food is really expensive. If I have to go and get like bread or like breakfast bars, I eat that during lunch. I have to have something during the day. So I like the cereal bars, the healthy ones. Name store brand stuff because that's the cheapest of what is there and available for me. Um, it's still expensive. The other day, the kids are going through graham crackers like it was yesterday. I saw them on sale and I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna pick this up because I can't have the Snickers hangry kids in my classroom. Um, Goldfish. They love goldfish and pretzels. So when I find them on sale, I get it. Oh, but shouldn't these parents be paying for and buying their kids snacks? Sure. But not every parent can afford it. So I get it when I can. Meat is really, really, really expensive here. So I gotta wait when things are on sale. Um, it's crazy. So this is the state of Indiana, and I don't know what I'm putting here, but something cool is gonna go there. But this is the state of Indiana. I'm gonna do one of my frames, but I don't know what I want to do in my frame. So I'm just putting a coating down because I was gonna do. Okay, that was super, super cryptic. Sorry. Okay. A message. OMG. Really? I don't know why Indiana is so expensive on gas. I don't know. Sorry, I had to read that. So I'm very transparent and authentic. I'm in perimenopause. So like why I go to the store is more for feminine products than anything else. And I try to do the natural stuff. And at this juncture in time, they don't work. So I have to go for the products. Um, let's just be frank with that. And my food cravings change based on my hormones. So it's hard for me to say when someone asks me, because I had a few people ask me they'll buy me groceries and, what store do you? And I'm just like, I don't know what's on sale because I am not asking you to pay money that if I buy something, I probably won't have the feeling to eat it now. I thinking it in the now moment, but in the 2 week ago moment, no. So I'm in this weird phase right now. I'm trying to figure out what will suit me, mind you. You know, a lot of people were like, well, why don't you sell your house and move? I'm like, okay, so where am I going? Where am I going? We love you, Curtis, and we're putting out good energy for you, for everybody else going on, and I'm praying that your situation gets solved. And we're going to put some ears out there for anybody living in California. I don't know where you are in California. I know you've told me, but I forgot what portion. I don't know out west as much as I know east. Um, and see if we can get you some help out there. Again, like a beautiful person in the chat also going through very similar circumstances that I am, and it's disgusting. Like, no one should be going through this. No one. I can't do dark chocolate. Northern California. So if there's anybody out there in Northern California, please hit me up because we're going to put you in contact with Mr. Curtis, who can use some help right now. Okay. So I'm hoping I put the call out into the universe that we can get you some sort of assistance. And not to say that no one can help you from the chat. I'm just, when one of our other members from We Not Me were living in their car, they were living in Wisconsin. There's people that know the state better than I do, was able to get her some resources, um, and some help. That, you know, money only goes so far, but if someone can actually help you with some resources and maybe whatever, that, I don't want to give your situation out there, but please hit me up privately and we'll see what we can do for our friend Curtis here because it's important. I mean, something in this, something in our paradigm is changing. It depends on your astrology. I say this every week. For me, it's relationships and career. So if I'm not meant to be at the school, that's great, fine. But humanness, humanness keeps getting the rejection letters and sorries emails constantly. Okay, that the buzzing's in my left ear now. Ooh, that was heavy. Humanness needs to have a plan. I like to plan things out. I like to know, okay, so if I'm not working for 2 months and I have to go back to the $17 job, like what else can be done? my brain always thinks ahead, even though we're in space-time of linearity here, time is an illusion everywhere else. Uh, I think I want to say the cardinal. Cardinal, northern cardinal. That's Indiana state bird. I'll probably put a cardinal on that thing. FYI, okay, me mowing the lawn the other day, how spirit shows up for me besides knocking everything off my kitchen counters. Yeah, I had that. Freya does not go on my kitchen. She does not jump on anything besides my beanbag and my bed. And the couch, obviously. She wants to look out the window. But Freya does not go into my kitchen and hop on counters. Odin was trying to do that. Um, Freya does not do that. So Freya was next to me on the beanbag as everything in my kitchen started dropping off of the counters. Mind you, I cleanse my house constantly. But whatever, someone needed my attention. So I'm outside mowing the lawn the other day. I saw the bluest blue jay I've ever seen. Like the vibrancy of this bird's feathers was beyond incredible. And then I saw one of the reddest cardinals I've ever seen. Hi, mom and dad. I can't do I could do milk chocolate. The dark chocolate I could do, but it has to have something with it, sweet. I cannot do the bitter. And especially if this is TMJ. I can't, I don't even want to think about that. Well, one of my patent sips that actually Ash Maya has, I did a cardinal. I love cardinals. Hello, I probably didn't even realize because I didn't even look at when I moved here that the state bar was a cardinal. Had no idea. Again, we're always meant to be where we're supposed to be for a reason. So cardinal is a state bird. Actually, whoa. I have a lot of um, sorry, guys. Ooh, oh, that hurt. I have a lot. I just was trying to Google something. Um, State flower. Peony. Coconut ivy. I could put a peony in there too. I don't think I'm painting that one today. I'm just putting the layer down. We got Wolf here, which I'm gonna have to put some black in there. He doesn't look like he's howling that much. We are where we're supposed to be, and I came here for many damn missions, and none of in the middle at the end middle of one, the kids is definitely one of my major missions here. But now I got to figure out how to incorporate what I love to do and get it done with the kids without it costing me an arm and a leg to get a stupid certification or a license. Um, without having another like a backup. I don't want to yawn, Scott Pace, but my body says otherwise. Yeah, the paint and sip. This was this week's paint and sip. It's a mandala. And I like to do things, you see, like here's my brain. If I made that like all linear and gridded everything out like you should do with like an actual one, that would have taken me like 5 days. I'm like I want anybody to go and have fun. That's the purpose of paint and sips. It don't need to be perfect. It just needs to be fun and something that anybody could do. It that also interesting. I think Indiana's the northern cardinal. Maybe there's differences. I don't know. I'm so damn close to Illinois, it doesn't even matter. And I'm curious if some of the portions of Illinois is going to join Indiana. I heard that one. Have a good night, Charlene. You're very highly requested for monkey butts. I didn't have to chicken yet. Monkey butt is definitely a hot commodity. I think I have an extra monkey. Oh yeah, dark chocolate is definitely better for you. Um, my tastes, I'm a sweets. I love sweets. Love, 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 love sweets. It's bad for you. But then again, everything else is too. I speak love and light and frequency into my food. I try not to eat garbage, but sometimes garbage tastes good and my body wants it. So I give in. I always say you YOLO once in this vehicle, so you have to enjoy what moments you have. And if that's having a piece of something that, oh my God, it has parasites, and then you can always detox tomorrow. Why are you worried? Enjoy your life. I try to enjoy my life every day, even in all my complaining and venting. Seriously, I try to enjoy when I can, how I can. There'd be no purpose to existence if you didn't enjoy your life. Indiana got a lot to clean up though. Once again, I'm just moving out, been moved out here. It takes time to learn all the intricacies of different states, how they run. The educational system needs to be revamped here ASAP. The towns, the boards, the all this crap needs to go. I'm not saying New York has it best, but I swear the kids out in New York have even the shit schools, the kids are learning a hell of a lot better. And I don't like to say that because it's a blue state or whatever. It doesn't matter. All states are states. Um, Industry. Industry is different in every state. Like there's so much that needs to change for our world to function better. And until I don't know, I don't know what is it going to be for humanity to step up to say wherever you are in the world, it doesn't matter if you're in the United States or not, what needs to change and how do we get there? What processes? Me having some answers isn't like the ultimate, oh, we're going to implement this. But what will work? As much as I'm against schools and there are really good teachers out there that are going through hell. Hey, Whiskey, you're going through hell because the schools give in to parents' needs and concerns and allegations are there's so much crazy people out there. It blows my mind. Oh, so Miss Michelle, if you're still listening, go to my patents of videos and in the description, I have like what I use every week. I don't pre-plan my paintings because I do it from here, or I'll get a theme in the moment and I'll go with it. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do until I did it. So that's why I film my paint and sips because I don't have anything pre-planned. But you literally need a cup of water. I have a red solo cup here with a lot of paintbrushes, different sizes. You can go to the store for $5 and get a whole pack of brushes, different sizes, widths, lengths, palette paper, a smock, paper towel, and then acrylic paint if you want acrylic. I don't do oil. Maybe one day I'll do oil, a tutorial on oils. Have a good one, Ivy. But I think, even when I want to go through this on Friday, but I honestly want everybody to really think it's been 100 days in collective political land. And how has any of the things that have been implemented have served you in this time of now? I'm not saying that it won't. I'm not a denier of, things have to work and it takes time. I understand all of this. But if we, the people, are the ones implementing the change and wanting to be a part of the process, we got to start somewhere. And I'd rather start it here in saying, what do you want your world to manifest like? And what specifics can we start focusing on, each and every one of us, to get there? What steps? For me, step one is later buckshot. Later on, it's okay. I'm gonna write to Linda McMahon. I'm gonna write to Indianapolis. I'm gonna write my letters to congressmen and other people because that's how your voice gets heard as we the people under this corporation. Second, I've already written a couple of letters, but it doesn't seem like anybody actually ever reads any of them. Mind you, it's okay. It's the intent and will I put out into the world. All of you are in different industries and have different interests. What is it in your field of interest do you want to see change in? Oh, nice. Um, where do you want to see change? How would things be easier? Now, we're thinking and going back to the kids. Kids are graduating high school. Kids are thinking about going into college or going to a trade or being entrepreneurs, whatever that looks like for them. What world are we leaving these kids? What opportunities are being presented to these children? You're funny, Ivy. Um, every one of you has a different wheelhouse. No, we're not going to see great changes overnight, but I don't think people are focusing on where the changes need to begin in their wheelhouse. Because everybody has a different interest, hobby, work. What if you could change anything about what you're doing in your world, and that could apply to everybody, not just yourself, What changes would you implement first? Change does not happen overnight, but we, the people, have to implement the change. We have to start somewhere because 47's not delivering it. He might, but we've been told this for for forever. And there was a posting. First of all, let's look at the Schumann. We're purging. We got some red spikes coming in. Oh, you got Morgan Cat. So this black area right here is the latest. So we're purging red. That's probably why my is all messed up. That's right. Did I save it here? So talking about number 47, there was a post the other day. This one, the real Trump. The only way I can know that is tapping into that field of energy. That's the real one. That's the real one. The real one. So he is in the, I don't hate the man because I don't believe he's necessarily he's writing and reading off a script. And yeah, he might have a lot of say and control, but there is somebody above him pulling his strings. He's a face, he's a figurehead for something else and way bigger. And that's not to say that's for our betterment or detriment. That's just to say there's always someone bigger and better. He's not writing all the laws and policies. Other people are doing that. He gets presented with it and then boom. I'm feeling it now. It doesn't even serve me if it crashes. It doesn't matter. I'm feeling it now. I mean, I'm going to the supermarket and this I pointed this out to Dina. She doesn't always go to the store that I do, but once in a while she will. And I said, next time you go, look at the if you go into self-checkout, notice what it says. It says notes. And this is like it's been now 2 years and they change their machines up every few months. So sometimes it'll say cash, sometimes it'll say notes. This time it says notes. So I'm hoping things change. I don't want to not see the change. I've been invested in this change for a long time. I'm not against that at all. I think that helped everybody wake up to an extent in certain areas of things. I think it's great. It got people outside of their paradigms. It got people really investigating. Where the snag in society is happening is people are stuck in not exploring further and outward. They're just contained in within what a drop means. And then they go looking in every one of those damn rabbit holes, which is great. But people are getting stuck to concepts and not moving forward. The system's already crashed in my estimation. Because when kids are not being well fed, there's programs all over the state. The food banks, the lines are miles long. This should not be a fucking thing. It shouldn't be. Not especially that you're working. If you're sitting on your tushy and you're not disabled and you're milking the system, then yeah, I have a problem with you. There goes my feeties. I do. I have a problem with that. But here's the thing with the Zims and the Dims and the Dongs and the this and the that. If Nasera and Jacera were actually real, and if it is a thing, that's great. But other countries need to take care of their country. All the humanitarian work and stuff needs to be done by their people, not what we want for their country. That's not good karma. But of course, we want the best, for those of us who really are humanitarian and want the best for everybody. I wouldn't want another country coming in here and going, oh, like, let's just say China. Oh, well, you could do it better this way. And here, we're going to have all these humanitarians come in and help you. Do we? How do they know what we need? Oh, absolutely. It's a frequency. It's a timeline. It actually is occurring right now. We just, as a humanity in our contracts, have not jumped to that humanitarian stuff just yet. We're not there. The problem is unity consciousness, the 5D thinking is unconditional love and unity consciousness. That's what we're trying to obtain. 4D is the bridge to where we're still in duality. Duality still exists in 4, but it's a fading away of that concept that we're supposed to shed in 4 is duality, polarity, negative, positive, white, black, good, evil. It's supposed to kind of fall away from us because it does not, and will not serve us when we get to 6. Negative entities, negative polarized people, according to Ra and so many other sources that I'm uncovering, are saying the same thing Ra said in the Law of One. After 5th density, they have a choice. Space thus return Ashianadine. They get fragmented and they don't get their whole source, their whole selves back. They don't merge with the source in wholeness. They merge with the source in fragments. So they lose their consciousness. Or they polarize light. So any of these dark entities, these beings, these perpetually evil people that everybody labels, that are playing and helping you wake up, all these people, they have to shift to the light in order to go back to wholeness with Source. Source doesn't hold a positive or a negative. It holds all things. Therefore, it's all things. But it at 6 density, you got to polarize to 2 or stay in your density for lifetime after lifetime after cycle after cycle. That's up to you. Each and every one of us in this chat right now has lived a very heinous life. We were a murderer. We took children's lives. We did things that we are not proud of and would never do in this life, but we did it in others. We needed the experience. We needed contrast. We need the learning. So how can you judge other people's doings and beings when you are probably that person in another life or in another parallel universe right now doing it? Not every one of your fractals is good. Hate to say that, but it's pretty damn true. In this vehicle that you've chosen, your story, your theme that you're playing out in this world right now, you chose it. I chose it. What we're now remembering all the snapshots, all the feelings, the dreams, all of that, we're incorporating all the other selves. All those fragments, they're coming into this body. And us purging, like me getting out my venting, me complaining, me getting all this out of my system is making way for more fragments and more soul pieces to come into this vehicle energetically. And I'm healing all of it. So when they're saying you need to heal your ancestral line and lineage, you can use that analogy and apply it to all the other selves that are out there right now, including your ancestors, and not necessarily your ancestors. It's just another parallel dimensional space that's playing out right now. Tartaria, Lemuria, Atlantis are all playing out right now. It's just in an unperceivable dimensional space. I don't know which one. I just posted this on TikTok, I think the other day. What you perceive with physical eyes is only a glimpse of reality. Beyond the veil exists a multi-vibrational reality waiting for you to remember. So once again, what I say and have been saying, people are creating memes for it. This I found funny. Funny how people use Wi-Fi, radios, X-rays, and satellites, yet think the use of our energy, frequency, and vibrations are some mystical nonsense. I laugh at that because I mention the Wi-Fi analogy now all the time. How am I going live when I have a Wi-Fi thing plugged into the wall? Do you see the ones and zeros whizzing into my computer right now? Unless you have the eyes to actually see that dimension. There's ones and zeros right now whizzing through everybody, whizzing in and out of you right now. There's waves of energy right now. You can't perceive with these eyes, but yet it still exists because I'm live. You guys are chatting. Some of you are using your cell phones. So make it make sense. What is it? You can have X-rays and Wi-Fi, radio waves. The astral exists. The etherical exists. You just can't see it. The tangibility in third dimension is that you get your Wi-Fi, so therefore it exists. There's no other bones about it. But if I tell you that an entity walked into my house and took shit off my kitchen countertop, you're most likely not to believe me. Until you have a similar experience happen to you. That's still wet. Oh, that felt so good. Wolf. And it looks more like a bear wolf. I'm missing a black paint pen. Don't know what I did with it. But again, anonymous person sent me these things. And Blazing sent me some paint, so thank you, Blazing. You are a rock star. 7 veils of illusion. You came into the earth plane with what's known as 7 veils of illusion. These are energetic blockages over the third eye, which root you into this human experience. Now, if anybody listened to the Blavatsky reading I did yesterday, that was on the third eye. And that makes what I just read makes that section make sense. As you progress spiritually, more of them are removed. The more you remove, the more of the etheric realm you are able to see. The final one is removed when you transition from the material plane back into the spiritual plane upon physical death. It's only when you return to your pure energetic state that you're able to receive things as they really are. Just like I said with the 5D frequency that I felt when I saw the birds mowing my lawn and the mystical, all the don't know where they came from, butterflies fluttering around me in like a vortex last year doing my lawn. The state of frequency and the enjoyment, the elation, the feeling was the frequency that I needed to hold in order to remain in that state of where the butterflies were all over me. But it was a fleeting thing. It didn't hold for that long. The same thing with the birds. As soon as I saw and acknowledged the bird's essence, they flew off. But I was meant to see them. It was they were gorgeous. Gorgeous and more vibrant than I've ever seen them. And it was in a good state doing, I like going out and doing the lawn work. These are just states of things for us to learn, like the cat, like Peter Pan. Peter Pan had to like actually take his shadow and integrate his shadow. He saw the shadow and he had to integrate it. That's a lot of what us in the now moment are doing is integrating our shadow. Your shadow is very much needed. That's why the Dark Chosen One videos are really hitting me hard. Not that I haven't heard this information before. It's now what I need to hear. The same thing with the books. I read the books when spirit needs me to read them because somewhere in my daily life I need to hear a message. You guys need to hear a message. It's planned the way it is. I haven't touched the law of one because we're not there yet. I read when I need to read what I need to read. Because I was on a roll with the law of one, and then all of a sudden, like life got crazy, and having to do my own notes on it is not a task that's easy. It's very time consuming, but it's worth it. The shadow figures that I've been seeing, the energy, shadow figures doesn't need to be evil either. We equate that because that's what the paranormal societies have deemed what it is. Not all shadow figures are equal, just like not all humans are equal. Some of them are just projecting their shadow. Like when I say Archangel Hillel runs through me, that's not the adversarial demonic entity that everybody equates Hillel to. It's just a shadow as Gabriel unfolds itself within me. And that's just my brain giving names to entities and vibrations. Consciousness is not bound by a gender or is owned by a being. Consciousness like source, the all that is, it just is. That's why atheists have a hard time acknowledging, well, where does this come from? They're materialists at the end of the day. Some of them, not all of them. Hang on, I gotta. Sorry, Jason's aunt. So, Wolfie, I'm getting channeled too, by the way. Your paradigm is going to shift whether you like it or not. I know mine is, whether I like it or not. I have to swivel at any and all opportunities that are presented to me, and not right now, any are presented to me. Go within and do some work. As much as hectic things have been for me in the last few weeks, I do a lot of soul searching inside of myself. A lot. I ask very, very, very direct and very specific questions to myself. Like, okay, so what happens if this, and like I said, with the job a few months ago, finding out that it's an open. What if I don't get it? What's the next move? What what do I want? As much as I want that, what does my soul want? Not the human ego, the soul. What does it want? Right now, my soul's not answering me. Anybody that's in that phase of what the fuck, be gentle and compassionate with yourself. Because I sure am having patience of a saint for myself. Because that's hard. See, now I'm adding black, but I'm adding details in the black. You know, not everything in this world we wrote for ourselves is going to be rosy and beautiful. And I haven't experienced the roses just yet. But I do hope that more of us start winning, not having to work as hard. Like if I if I were to have to do a retail job right now, my body would break in a week. I wouldn't be able to walk. I wouldn't. I know my body really well, and I know that I wouldn't last. a full-time job and then a secondary job on my feet. I know that. Life right now is just figuring out how to survive. I don't like it. And I'm hoping if there is time during, if there is a transition of me not finding anything and school ends, I'm going to be selling half of the things in my house. So get ready, because at least that way I can have some money to maintain. But I don't want to do that. But if I need to, I will. I did it before. I'm just putting the energy out there that if something is meant to be better. I know, Scott. We're getting there. I'm gonna add some other colors in here too. The white was really just an outline. And anybody that does creative like painting and stuff like that, like I don't like to waste paint. So like even after my paint and sips, if I have any paint left over, I'll grab one of these and I'll just like mark it up. Like that's what I did with this one. And then you could put anything over it and give it a nice background. Obviously, you can't do that. You could do it with color pencils. You could. Have a good night, Michelle. I'll get back to you on your text messages, I promise. I'm being very careful, so I'm sorry if I'm being quiet. I'm trying to focus. I don't know why that happens. Do you ever notice that when you're in a car driving and you get like listening to music and you have to lower the music to focus? That's where I'm at. Like, why do you have to do that? I don't know. Weird. But I know a lot of people that drive when they drive, they like in order to focus on something, they have to lower the music. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. Oh, that's a paragraph. Oh boy. Come on, Devils, beat the Hurricanes. Let's go. Hi, Janine. How are you, lovey? I'm gonna add gold to the Wolfie. Gold to the wolf. I don't like how my other Wolfie came out. He looks more like a crossbreed. He looks like a cryptic zoology animal than does a wolf. And my wolf spirit guides would be very disappointed in my drawing skills. Very disappointed. How goes it? I have a job review tomorrow morning during my lunch break, by the way. That's great. And if they tell me what do I need to work on, I need to work on getting a new job. I'm transparent. I'm very transparent. I'm authentic. At this stage of my life, I feel like an old lady when I say that I could give a fuck what anybody thinks. With professional respect added onto that mix. I'm not that complete douche canoe. But at the same time, oh, oh, the boat. Ooh. I when I went to Florida with the military guy, all right, get ready for it. Chicken! Chicken. Um, I went to Florida for a friend's wedding. Oh, now that's too close. What is up there, Spirit? What's up there? It keeps going up here. I'm here. I am here. Um, my ex that was in the military came with me to the wedding, and we took a few extra days and we went on a boat and did fishing. And of course, I touched his rod and blessed it, and he caught so many fish. Me, not so much. We didn't keep it. I don't like keeping fish. If I catch a fish, I'm throwing the fishy boo back. Plus, I don't trust the ocean. I know fish is way healthier for you, but it depends where the fish is being caught. My opinion. I gave a golden its eyeball. Bob, my house is not dirty enough to have a mouse. Do you see a mouse? Maybe a spirit mouse. I do have a spirit guide mouse, But the spirit guide mouse has not shown up to give me a direction yet. I mean, all my tarot card has been saying everything's going to be okay. Yeah, when? Love you, but no. Like there's an epoxy piece right here. Like you could see my arm, you could see like the screen, my hand going like that, but like there is literally some spirit up there because he keeps drawing up there. I don't know what's up there. I don't know. I hate my brain sometimes. I'm just fine tuning this little Wolfie guy. Wolfie. Yeah, I got a crafted. I did it. I got crafted. I have to put my feet down. That hurts. Uh-huh. So something in the AI in the Zoom is triggering. Okay, I totally understand that aspect. Something is keep drawing the attention up here, and I would love to know because I already saged that a part of seriously went up there with Sage. Like my Sage is like Ash right now up there. And I told the person that's here, hi, I'll transcend you. I will call everything in to get you up, out if you want to. And most of the spirits are fine with going. Some want to stay, and they're welcomed here as long as they're behaving. Like I said, I asked the spirit that was putting on the LED lights in my living room. I got two lamps. Uh, when I am reading, I have like a book lamp, but I like to put some ambient light on for it. So mind you, I go to Viking's house and I would stay the night and I would come home early in the morning to all of my LED lights on. Now, the remotes to those things, they look like this, and they're the in a like a remote holder, very far away from anything to touch it. In my television stand, it's on a shelf. You have to press it on for it to go on. If they did just don't come on. And it's not just the two lamps, it's my console, my television stand too. Lights up. So explain to me, I said to Spirit, hi, I know you like these lights. They probably make you excited. But guess what? That causes money on my electric bill to go up. Unless you're going to pay my bill, do not put them on. If I'm home and you want to enjoy them, you can join me as I read my book and you can enjoy the lights. And they haven't been on ever since because I asked nicely. Yeah, but I also have put on in the settings for the actual computer to lower the sensitivity of the camera. So I've played with that before because this thing makes people, a lot of people said they can't watch me all the time because of the movement. It makes them sick. It's annoying. But even in the Zoom settings, like there's not really any settings there to alleviate it. I did it on the desktop. I don't know. Yeah, there's reflective surfaces, but like I'm reflective. If I'm talking, it should be here. It shouldn't all of a sudden go like that. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. We got a wolf. So as I'm still also trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. I might make some clouds and I might do cardinals here, maybe, or a bird flying in the clouds. I got to figure what to do. This is gold paint in the background. Gold, gold, shiny. This is just a background. I'm going to put something there. I don't know what yet. And I have this. Got to figure out what to put with that. But all those are just canvases that have extra paint on, and I'll do a background. So that's something, if you are somebody that does painting at home and you have extra paint and you don't feel like, oh, well, that's a waste. The canvases were on sale. I think I got a whole package of like 16 of them for like $8. That's cheap. That's still wet. So the frame is still drying. And this, I was gonna do an oil painting on these, but I have another one over there that I have to do oil. I might do the birdies with acrylic on this one. And then I might put one of these on there. And actually, I don't think faithful would have to go, thankful would have to go like that. If I'm putting thing, I have a bunch of these. I have thankful. I got blessed. I got cat mom. I have love. Thankful. I have dog mom somewhere. I found dog mom. Yeah, it's wood. Come on, knock on my door. I'll be waiting for you. Yeah, this is wood. It's the state of Indiana. And I figured when I do craft vending events that people in Indiana might want one because it's Indiana. I don't know if they do Tennessee or the other states. I don't know. Indiana's shaped weird. It's like a rectangle, a small one. They changed it recently. I think it was a Crossroads of America, and I think it's just changed. Let's see. It was Crossroads of America. That's the motto. More to discover in Indiana is the new one. I rather it Crossroads of America. They changed the sign. It looks stupid. Although I have to say, I love my license plate. It's the American flag. They're patriotic here at least, thank goodness. God, these devils. That's just like a terminology that people use for people that are from Indiana. That's not a slogan. And I don't understand the Hoosier thing. I was told what it was, but that no one actually has an absolute definition of what Hoosier really is. Who's there? It's the Hoosier state. I don't know what that is. Here's another rabbit hole to go down. Who came up with this stupid bullshit? Who came up with the state this, the state bird, the state flower, the slogan, the motto? You know, Brooklyn is forget about it. Forget about it. In the most Italian dialect you can pick off of. Listen to Sopranos. For Staten Island's a forgotten borough. Wu-Tang for life. I mean, that would be a great slogan for Staten Island instead of the garbage dump. Wu-Tang. Um, New Jersey's the Garden State. Why? I never understood New Jersey being a garden state. Yeah, the middle of the state is pretty. The northern part of the state is really pretty, but like every outskirt of beach, all the outskirts are bedlam. I mean, I've asked a bunch of people what Hoosier is, and I don't get a direct answer. Does that make any sense for you, Scott? Beehive for Utah. Does that make sense? Is there a lot of beehives in Utah? Is that what you're known for? I mean, like, make it make sense. Like, I know Iowa's corn, but they have corn here too. I mean, in seriously, I can drive. So if I go to Jason's house and I stick on the road past Jason's house, like the road that I take to get there, if I keep going, I'm hitting cornfields. Like Jason's area is like the last subdivision and it's like farmland. And then back to civilized residential areas. And then more corn and open land. Um, Now if I go south of me, well, that's west. If I go south of me, there's like a town, and the town has really nice things. It's what I have on my Facebook where I'm from, but it's not. I'm close to it. But then also, like if you go off these offshoot roads, you're seeing like farms of horses and animals and cutesy things. And if you go up, you're gonna go to hit the Griffith Maryville Airport, which is just those crappie planes. And if you go up further, like Gary, Indiana looks like the South Bronx and certain parts of Brooklyn. Make it make sense. That really hurts. I gotta investigate how to get that undone. Barbara, let me tell you what, like up the same road, if I go to Jason on this side of the road, the other side, the road is very, very, very long. If I hit a certain point, it'll say, "Oh, this is the road of Lincoln." I'm not close to Illinois. I'm not close, but I'm close enough. It's like me living in Staten Island and New Jersey is like you could throw a stone literally over to New Jersey. In fact, the deer from New Jersey swam over to Staten Island. So that's like how close I am in proximity. I'm like 3 towns away from Illinois. It's not that far. So make it make sense. Nothing makes sense. I don't like 3D. I'm done. Done. And now it's up to us to create what we want. It's already created to an extent. When we have that collapse, I am a Yankee. Yankee Doodle in a hat. Call me macaroni. Um, Helen. a, a lot of you don't, I mean, you know, driving in traffic, I don't know how long it would take to get to places. I only been to little sections of Illinois. I've been to Midway Airport with Dina and Jason. I did that. And I drove Viking to surgery in Illinois. I'm not a fan driving through Illinois. Don't like it. Don't like the energy. Ohio is another one. I do not like the energy off the interstates. I actually, when I went to the True Tour one, I drove from New York to Indiana. And I was already in the knowing that I had to move. So I actually took some off the path, off the beaten path ways near the highways, but not close enough to do some investigative figuring out if I like the energy or not. I do not like Ohio. Do not like it. Do not like it. And I took one direction going and I took another direction going home. So I think I took 80 going and 30 going home. No. Ohio, no. Sorry, Ohio. And certain parts of Pennsylvania I can't do either. Uh-uh. The energy, get out of here. No. No. Mm-mm. Um, so when I was dating the soldier, he lived in Connecticut and we used to frequent Massachusetts. I went to Cape Cod a whole bunch, Franklin, and driven through. Connecticut, the energy is indifferent for me over there. It depends what part of Connecticut. I've driven in a couple of parts. Um, Not a fan of Virginia. I've been to Virginia a few times. Not a fan. I don't know. I don't know what the energies like. Obviously, I just at that point in time with True Tour and going to Indiana for the very first time, like I usually driven the East Coast and not out to the Midwest. Never been there before. So that was my first time. And I was investigating different states to move to. And Ohio was on the radar because of the real estate. I just could not handle the energy, period. A lot of my friends are like, why don't you just fly back to Staten Island if you want to visit us? I said, no, I rather drive, but I have to clear up whatever the energy is. Um, Illinois too, I don't know what it is. I mean, even up here, the energy is very dense, but I know that I have to help clear it. Help. I'm not alone. Um, Down a little south in Indiana, I really like, but there is no life out there. When Viking took me to his dad's farm, it was gorgeous. I really enjoyed myself. But could I see myself living out there? Probably not. Certain parts of Florida that I've been in, Florida also has some very wonky. Georgia, it took me 3 hours to get from Atlanta to where my dad lives. It's pretty to look at. Couldn't live there. Mm-mm. No, and I can't live down all the way down that south way, like where all of you are talking about where you are. No way with the freaking weather. Get out of here. No, 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 no. I mean, up here, the weather is bad, but like nothing that I can't handle. I've handled hurricanes. I've had tornadoes on Staten Island, but out here, it's a whole other element. Not down there. Can't do those naders. Can't do the naders. I mean, up here we had only F-Zeros and F1s. No. I'm hoping Dina posts more pictures. It's gonna get exciting. Jason, and just to update all of you, from what I'm allowed to say, Jason is in his like happy place. So I can't wait for Jason to like talk about his experience because of the conversation I had with them earlier. He's in his heyday. He's happy. He is happy. He's in heaven right now. So if anybody helped contribute to get them there, thank you, because Jason definitely is happy. Um, so I can't wait for them. I hope it was busy today. I don't know if Dina got to go live at all, or is this she's busy too. I won't say too much because I want them to talk about it, but very exciting for them. And I get to hang out with all the kitty cats. It's his cousin. I misspoke earlier. His cousin is hanging out. She just that's why I went silent to text. It was her. So I guess, when I was getting those downloads a little while ago, really focus on one thing. Like for me, it's I have to figure out what my next steps are in life. I'm at that juncture. It's either I make it or I break. And I'm choosing to make it. But how I need a miracle. I really do. I need a miracle. Um, but looking at a bigger picture for humanity, what I feel a lot of us need to focus on is how do we incorporate all of humanity and how do we shift it? Yeah, he's I got the call by the pool with Dina and Chella. And that's only because one of the cats, so they have like a camera in the house, and one of the cats knocked it down, and all of a sudden I'm running around with bowls and litter boxes and stuff, and all of a sudden I hear Dina's voice. Like a ghost was speaking. It was hysterical. And I'm like, okay, wait. I know they put it over here. Wait. And I found it. It was on the floor. I think Delta Cat knocked it down. So I put it back up. So at least Dina can speak to Louis during the day. Um, so funny. Yeah, so funny. I love it. And like I say to everybody, because a lot of people know where I stand. I'm still Jason's friend. I'm still Dina's friend. We're very close. I just don't give in to the paradigm that they're in. It's not, this is where like the rumor mill and the gossip mill starts. They're my friends. I just don't give in to polarity anymore. I don't point my fingers, right? But that's just one facet of something. That doesn't mean that I don't support my friends and I'm not there. Because I know a lot of people in the back of the head, well, why isn't Ally and da 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 da? I, I just can't listen to it. And I know Jason respects it. Jason knows. I've spoken to him about it plenty of times. I'm not over there because I have a job. I have to run my own life. I was doing so much for them for so long that I did not do for myself, and I got myself into a situation that sucks. I did it. No one else. Definitely calms me down. I need to find another vice to do that though. So I'm hoping I might add more to this, maybe. We'll see. But I like this is different, Mr. Wolfie. Um, so I'm gonna probably leave it here. I should be going longer on Friday. Like I said, I got caught up in traffic and I got home and like I got my coffee made and like ran right down. I had a little snack and then ran right down here. Um, and my readings have been a lot later when I'm posting them because once again, I'm usually at their house for about an hour and a half, uh, feeding all the outside animals and watering, and it's a lot. I don't know how Jason does it. He has his own mechanisms of things, but I don't mind doing something for the babies. I love the animals, and I get to snuggle and play with them, especially Louie. Um, that brings me joy. So I hope maybe one day I don't have to worry about it and I become a famous artist. We'll see. And I don't need to be famous in terms of eh, a man, just enough to like be content. I want to be content. I like being happy, but it's like something you want to achieve. It's a fleeting thing too. That word, it's fleeting. I don't want to be in a perpetual state. It's not realistic to be in a perpetual state of happiness all the time. It is great to feel happy. It is wonderful to be in that state of consciousness, but it's fleeting. I want to be content. I want to feel joy. And what I do is I feel joy when I create my artwork. So maybe I got to go figure out how to get that launching. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just in this in between. I don't like this shit and it feels bad and I need to get it figured out now because I have a month. So let's hope that I figure it out, guys. I'll still be doing this. I'm not leaving this at all. I know there's a lot more people waking up in the spiritual sense that need some fresh perspectives and not just being barked at fear narrative program. If it's not my way, it's not the best way. No, no, you do you, boo. You go within. My perspective is not going to be your perspective. My reality isn't your reality. What I see with my two eyes is not what you see with your two eyes. There's my difference between each and every one of you and all the spiritual people out there. I don't see the world the same way that anybody else does. My viewpoint is unique to me and it applies to all of you. So no matter where you stand, what your perceptions are, it's yours to own, embody, and walk. That's how Source wants it. I don't argue with that. But I don't like when people tell you it has to be this way because I said so. No, it don't. It might be playing out in a theater near you over there in another parallel dimensional space that you're not in. Get there. That just like every day, I am showing up for myself. I'm empowering myself. I am putting my boundaries up. I'm standing on my 2 feet and saying, fuck no. Where otherwise I would have said, oh yeah, I'm gonna fold. I'm not folding no more. I'm dressing to impress every day at work. I'm not coming in blue jeans. I wore a skirt today. I look very proper. My makeup has been lighter. I know the glasses make the illusion of my eyebrows going way dark. It's not. But I'm showing up every day professional. I am walking in it. I am doing it. I am breathing it. I'm happy when I'm sitting with the kids and having fun. I'm loving when I'm coloring with them. All these beautiful things that I do that makes me actually happy and brings the joy in and out of me is why I wake up every day and motivate myself to go. So I hope something transpires from me picking and lifting up and persevering through that energy. Like I said, we're human and we're flawed. We're not perfect. And it's a work in progress on all of our ends. What I think everybody needs to do, maybe consciously each day, is to think, well, what do I want to change in the world and how specific and how deep can you get in how you want that change to happen? Because I refuse to sit and keep waiting years for the prices of food to go down and for this. So what do we want changed about that? How do we want it to change? You might not be the one implementing it, but getting those ideas out there, great. What in your industry do you want changed? How do you think things would work smoother, more efficiently if your change was implemented? I think education across the board in every state should be the same or similar. I don't think one state should have this and the other state should have that. The kids should be on par no matter where you are in the country. Pay. If you work at McDonald's in New York and you work at McDonald's in Arkansas, it should be the same amount of money. You're doing the same job. There's a lot of things out there that I think simple facts and solutions can be made. All these corporations, if you work for Costco, should be paying the same amount no matter what Costco, no matter what state, because at the end of the day, the revenue was there to pay equally to all its employees in all states. Oh, well, it's state income tax and state this and state that. And I know everything's going back to the states. Well, there are people that will never be able to leave their state because of the state of the caste system. We're in caste systems. We live in India. If you think about it, we label ourselves as poverty stricken, lower middle class, upper middle class, rich, elite. That's a caste system. And based off that system, certain people do unfortunately get privileges over others. And the people that are stuck in the middle don't get anything. They get the rubber fist. So things need to change. What I'm just asking each and every one of you is to ponder wherever field or whatever thinking you're doing in the day, how can you make it to change to better everybody? And you too. And just put those thoughts in your head. You don't need to take action on it. Just put the thoughts in your head first. I think if we start thinking forward thinking, moving forward thinking, and not really thinking about who's perpetuating what and how we are stuck and blaming them for all the problems that we signed up to have, they're the cause of it. We need to change the effect. And right now, the only thing my brain is receiving is that we all need to think moving forward and how everybody can benefit from what we want changed so that we can collapse the way function for a better world. Yay. But I'll elaborate more on Friday. I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up, for your amazing abundance, for your gratitude. I appreciate each and every one of you. Seriously. I wouldn't be here otherwise. I will get a monkey butt in. Monkey butt! Monkey butt, monkey butt, monkey butt. Monkey butt! Monkey butt! Thank you all to who watch Little Thor and Freya videos. Little Thor did not show up today. I am going to try to figure out the theme songs that I play for, like I sing for Little Thor, is because I am drowned out with stuff at work. And it's just catchy in my brain in the morning. But for Freya, it's a little different. But I'll see if I can get a Freya jingle going. Because I know a lot of people like that. I like it too. I think it's cute. But yeah. I hope to see you guys on Friday live. He's time traveling, Ashmaya. Or that's his other self. That's his other self. You have little Thor over there, doppelganger. Sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please do the inner work. Go within, because the truth is here. And sometimes the truth is not going to be revealed to you because you ask for it and you have to work for it. And trust me, I know all about that, and it sucks. But we love you anyway. Be the shoulder physically for somebody. Physically. Viking's aunt, I'm like the shoulder for her right now. Be the lighthouse. Your frequency affects everybody else in the paradigm in and around you physically. So if you show up for your, like I'm showing up for myself every day and putting good energy out and raising my frequency so I can walk into this job. If it doesn't happen, I have to walk into something better. Let's hope. But in the meantime, show up for yourselves. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. Seed and sprinkle your truths respectfully, witly, in wittingly ways, and respectfully. You never know what words will impact somebody. And if you do it in a respectful manner or give inference or contrast and be neutral about it, more people will listen to you, I promise. Please have a safe and blessed night. Please light the path forward, because that's where we're going in linear space time. No other announcement for right now that I could think of. Just don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you're watching this later on, all the information is going to be at the bottom of this video, so that if you're looking for a link to see Arnie or Turn the Page with Janine or any of the amazing people that I follow, all that information is there. So go check it out. Until the next time, guys. Have a good morning. Grand Rising Ashmaya, all the way from Ireland over there. Please be safe. Be seen.